All are fine. We'll continue with the embryology lectures and we'll discuss today the female reproductive cycles. In this lecture, we'll discuss the hormonal control of the reproductive cycles, the female reproductive cycles, that is the ovarian cycle and the menstrual cycle, how the follicles they develop in the ovaries, the process of the ovulation, the formation of the corpus luteum, and the different phases of the menstrual cycle. At the age of the puberty, that is the 10 to 13 years, the females they undergo the cyclic changes which takes place in the ovaries and the uterus. The ovarian cycle in the ovaries and the menstrual cycle, which are the changes which takes place in the uterus. The ovarian cycle, it governs the preparation of the endocrine tissues and the release of the eggs. Whereas the menstrual cycle, it governs the preparation and maintenance of the uterine lining, and these cycles they occur concurrently and are coordinated over a period of 22 to 30-day cycle with an average length of 28 days. So the hormonal, they are under the control of the hormones. This diagram showing you the events which are taking place in the ovaries. These are the events which are taking place in the ovaries, and this is the lining of the uterus, that is the endometrium. So the uterine wall consists of the endometrium, the myometrium, and the perimetrium, which we have discussed in the previous lectures. So this is the wall showing you the endometrial changes of the uterus. So under the release of the gonadotrophin releasing hormone, which is released from the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland it releases the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone from the anterior pituitary gland. These follicle stimulating hormone they are responsible for the growth and the proliferation of the follicles in the ovaries. Now this follicular phase of the ovary it corresponds with the proliferative phase of the endometrial wall of the uterus, in which the wall it proliferates and grows rapidly. So at the day 14 of the cycle, there is an LH surge or the peak of the luteinizing hormone, and under this surge, the ovulation takes place, that is the release of the ovum from the follicle. And this after that, the release of the ovum, if the ovum is implanted into it goes into the uterine tube, and then the ovaries enters into the luteal phase, in which there is the formation of the corpus luteum. Now this corpus luteum, it will secrete the hormones, the progesterone and the estrogens, and they are responsible for the maintenance of the wall of the uterus. So this corpus luteum is first the hemorrhagic corpus luteum is formed, and then it is the late corpus luteum is formed. So if the fertilization takes place and the implantation takes place in the uterine wall or the endometrium, then this corpus luteum it forms the corpus luteum of the pregnancy. Whereas if the implantation does not take place, then the degeneration of the corpus luteum takes place and the endometrium undergoes the ischemic phase. And then again the menstrual phase, and there is the sloughing off of the endometrial wall, and it forms the corpus albicans or corpus atritic and corpus albicans. So the cycles which are taking place, the changes which are taking place in the ovaries, they correspond with the changes which takes place in the endometrial wall of the uterus. So we'll discuss these phases one by one. So this is showing you the ovarian cycle. The ovarian cycle consists of three phases. The follicular phase, which it comprises of 12 to 14 days. Then is the pre-ovulatory phase, and which is of 3 days, and then is the luteal phase, 14 to 16 days, and this average length of all of the ovarian cycle is the 27 to 29 days in a healthy woman. Now this diagram showing you the mature follicular phase, and this is the pre-ovulatory and ovulatory phase, and then it enters into this luteal phase. In the follicular phase or the development of the follicles, it is characterized by the growth and the differentiation of the primary oocytes and the proliferation of the follicular cells, the formation of the zona pellucida, and the development of the theca cells from the ovarian stroma, which then differentiates into the theca externa and the theca interna cells. And there is the formation of the fluid in the fluid-filled cavity, so that the oocyte is shifted to one pole, and it is surrounded by us follicular cells, which are formed the cumulus oophorus cells. So this the follicular development, which is under the release of the gonadotrophin releasing hormone, that is the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone. So as we have discussed, the follicular cells, they first form a stratified layer around the ovum, then they become oval and the oocyte eccentric in position, and the follicular cells, they proliferate, their proliferation is greater on one side. The fluid-filled spaces which appears around the cells, they coalesce soon and they form a single fluid-filled cavity, which is called the follicular antrum, and the ovarian follicle is now called a vesicular follicle or a secondary follicle. The primary oocyte, which is pushed to one side of the follicle, it is surrounded by a few of the follicular cells, which are called the cumulus oophorus, and they projects into the antrum. So this early development of the follicles, it is under the release of the follicle stimulating hormone, and the final stages, they are the requires the luteinizing hormone elsewhere. So growing follicles, they produce the estrogens, which are the female sex hormones, and they regulate the development and the functions of the reproductive organs. So estrogens, they are predominantly formed by the theca interna cells. The whole of the events of the ovarian cycle, which we have discussed. So this is the primordial follicle with the growth of the follicular cells around them. Then they grow rapidly from the simple cuboidal epithelium to the cells, they proliferate, and the follicular cells from the ovarian stroma, they also surrounds this growing follicle. So these layers from single cuboidal epithelial layers, they form the multiple layers of the epithelium, and the follicular cells, they also surround them. Then there is also the formation of the zona pellucida around this secondary oocyte. Now you can see that the fluid-filled cavities appears in this the follicle, secreted by these follicular cells, and they form a antral follicle, and this coalesce and they forms a single cavity, and which is called the antrum, and the follicle is called the Graafian follicle or the antral follicle. The surrounding stromal cells, which are forming the theca cells, they differentiates into the theca interna and the theca externa cells. Now, because of the fluid-filled cavity, these follicular cells and the secondary oocyte is shifted to one pole, and this follicular cells which are surrounding this secondary oocytes, they form the cumulus oophorus. Now, this is the event showing you the release of the ovum from this follicular cells, which is called the ovulation. And the released ovum, along with the cumulus oophorus cells, is picked up by the fimbriated end of the uterine tube. So we'll discuss the process of the ovulation now. So ovulation under the influence of the follicle stimulating hormone and the LH surge, that is the luteinizing hormone, around the mid-cycle or the 14th day of the follicle, produces a slight bulge or a cystic swelling over the ovarian surface. Now you can see here that a cystic swelling appears under the influence of these hormones and by the projection of this follicle over the surface of the ovary. Then a small oval avascular spot, the stigma, is seen on the swelling. Before the ovulation, the oocyte and the some of the cells, the cumulus oophorus, they detach from the inside of the distended follicle. At the ovulation, the surge of LH release, the stigma balloons out, forming a surface vesicle that is ruptured, expelling the oocyte along with the follicular fluid to the exterior into the peritoneal cavity. The oocyte is covered by the zona pellucida and one or more layers of the follicular cells, which radially arrange themselves and they are called the corona radiata cells. So signs of the ovulation, they include the Mittelschmerz or the intermenstrual pain and the basal body temperature rise slightly. So the time of the ovulation and the succeeding menstrual bleeding is constant, whereas the time between the ovulation and the preceding menstruation is highly variable, and it depends upon how long the follicle needs to mature. Now, in each ovarian cycle, only one follicle matures and is released from the follicular cells. So one ovum is released in each ovarian cycle. Now you can see this follicular fluid along with the cumulus ovophorus cells. They are released into the peritoneal cavity. This is a uterine tube with the fimbriated end. The fimbriated end of the uterine tube, they cover the ovarian surface, and they capture the released ovum from the peritoneal cavity, and along with the fluid, they through the peristaltic movements of the uterine tube, it is transferred towards the ampullary part of the uterine tube. So this is showing you the luteal phase. So after the release of the ovum along with its cumulus oophorus cells, this is a ruptured follicle. Now this ruptured follicle, it will forms the corpus luteum, and the ovaries enters into the luteal phase. So this early corpus luteum, it first forms the corpus haemorrhagicum before it becomes a corpus luteum. So these leftover follicular cells, they will secrete the progesterone, and this progesterone will be responsible for the growth and the maintenance of the endometrium of the uterine wall. So, if the oocyte is not, and this luteal cells, these corpus luteal follicular cells, they are filled with the fat. So, if the zygote is formed, fertilization takes place, and the zygote is, and the blastocyst is implanted into the uterine endometrium, then this corpus luteum, it will forms the corpus luteum of the pregnancy. And will be responsible for the production of the progesterone during the pregnancy, and up to the 8 weeks of the pregnancy till the placenta is formed. So this will form the corpus luteum of the pregnancy if the fertilization takes place and the zygote is implanted, blastocyst is implanted into the endometrial wall of the uterus. But if the fertilization does not takes place, then this corpus luteum, it starts regressing, and it forms the corpus albicans, and it becomes atretic. And then the endometrial wall of the uterus, it goes into the ischemic phase. So the menstrual cycle, or the changes in the endometrium of the uterus, they corresponds with the ovarian cycle. So the menstrual cycle, they can be divided into the menstrual phase, which is from day 1 to 5, and then is the proliferative phase, which corresponds with the follicular phase of the ovaries, that is day 1 to 13. Then is the luteal phase from day 15 to 28, and the ischemic phase, which is in the last days of the luteal phase. This is a wall of the uterus, the endometrial wall, showing you the layers of the endometrium. So this endometrial wall has the two layers. The this is the endometrium, and below is the myometrium, which is formed of the smooth muscle cells. So the changes in the uterus, they takes place only in the endometrium. The endometrium has the two layers, the stratum basale and the stratum functionale. Now the stratum basale, it remains intact, and it has all the spiral arteries, and these spiral arteries, they grow into the stratum functionale also. So this stratum functionale has the uterine glands, which are very tortuous, and the spiral arteries, which are present here. And this is the proliferation of the stratum functionale, which takes place in each of the uterine cycle or the menstrual cycle. Now, during the menstruation, only this stratum functionale, it is sloughed off, and the stratum basale, it remains as the during the menstruation, and serves as a source of regeneration of the stratum functionale. So in each cycle, only this stratum functionale along with the blood vessels, it is sloughed off. So this is all the events showing you this the menstrual the phase, which is from day 1 to 5. In this phase, the menstruation occurs and it lasts for the 5th day of the menstrual cycle. And in this during this phase, the uterus sheds its this endometrium or the stratum functionale of the endometrium, along with the blood vessels and the fluid which exists through the vagina into the in the form of the menstrual fluid. The cramps, they are caused in the abdomen, and by the contraction of the uterus and the abdominal vessels, so that this menstrual fluid is expelled out. So after that, it enters into the proliferative phase. So this is the all of the cycle the days, they are seen, they are corresponding with the follicular phase or the proliferative phase of the endometrium, which corresponds with the follicular phase of the ovarian cycle. So the follicular phase or the proliferative phase, from the day 1 to 13, it begins as the first day of menstruation, but it lasts till the 13th day of the menstrual cycle. And during this phase, the endometrium thickness increases in the wall of the uterus, and under the influence of the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone, they stimulates the follicles to grow in the ovaries, and one of these egg cells, they begin to mature in a sac-like structure called the follicle, and at the 14th day it reaches the maturity, and ovulation takes place. While the egg cell matures, its follicle secretes the hormones that is the estrogens. They stimulates the uterus to develop a lining of the blood vessels and tissues, the endometrium. So ovulation phase, which occurs under the luteinizing hormone at the day 14, and then it enters into the luteal phase, that is 15 to 28. So formation, functioning, and the growth of the corpus luteum. The egg cells they release during the ovulation phase stays in the fallopian tube for 24 hours. So if fertilization does not occur, the corpus lutea it degenerates, estrogen and progesterone level they falls, and the secretory endometrium it enters into the ischemic phase. So again the menstruation takes place. So this is the summarized diagram showing you all the hormonal events, the ovarian cycle and the endometrial cycle. So this is a very good diagram, so you can understand all these events from this diagram. So this is the endometrial wall, which we have discussing these menstrual phases. So menstrual phase from day 1 to 5, then is the proliferative phase, which is also called the follicular phase, as it corresponds with the follicular development of the ovarian cycle. And in this, the proliferative phase, under the influence of the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone, the endometrial wall grows rapidly. Now, these hormones, the estrogens and the progesterones, they are secreted by the follicular cells, and they are also responsible for the maintenance of the endometrial wall, and the secondary sexual characteristics of the females. So this is showing you the 14th, at the 14th day there is an peak of the luteinizing hormone, which is called the LH surge. So at this peak, the ovum is released. The release of the ovum from the follicular cells is called the ovulation. So after the ovulation, the ovarian cycle it enters into the luteal phase, and this is also the luteal phase of the endometrial wall of the uterus. So if this oocyte is fertilized in the ampullary part of the fallopian tube and the zygote is formed, this zygote is transferred through the uterine tube into the uterine cavity. There it is called the blastocyst, and then blastocyst is implanted into the uterine wall. So if this implantation takes place, then this corpus luteum, it will form the corpus luteum of the pregnancy, and it will continue secreting the progesterone. So you can see here the estrogen levels they slowly falls, whereas the progesterone level they are high. So this progesterone will be responsible, which is secreted by the corpus luteum, for the maintenance and the of this endometrial thickness. So this corpus luteum of the pregnancy, if pregnancy occurs, it remains secreting the progesterone up till the 8 weeks till the placenta is formed. But if the oocyte is not fertilized and the implantation does not take place, then what happens that this corpus luteum, it starts regressing and it forms the corpus albicans. And this progesterone level, it slowly drops. So as this is the progesterone level and the estrogen level, they drops, this endometrial wall or the it undergoes the ischemic phase. And in this ischemic phase, what happens that these blood vessels, they are constricted, the ischemia takes place, and because of the ischemia, they are sloughed off, and they uh, uh, again enters into the menstrual phase, that is the menstruation takes place. So these are all the events of the female reproductive cycles, which are the ovarian cycle and the menstrual cycle. So the ovarian cycle and the menstrual cycle, they correspond with each other under the influence of the hormones which are secreted by the hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary gland. So, and then estrogens and the progesterones, which are secreted by the follicular cells. So these are all the events. So if you have any query, you can ask me on the WhatsApp group. Thank you.